We really appreciate you coming down here. Before we get the show started and I bring up your host, we have a couple of small requests. If you could, please take your cell phone out, put it on silent or vibrate. A cell phone going off during the show is super distracting. Please keep your table talk down to a whisper so people around you can hear and enjoy the show. And make sure you tip your servers while they're working hard for you. If you need a drink, there's the little slips in your little centerpiece of the table there. Just go ahead and pop that into the fork. And the servers will come around, they see a slip there, they'll grab it, come bring you the drinks. With all that out of the way, oh yeah, and make sure that you come down. Next weekend, we're going to have Josh Wolf, who's a regular on Chelsea lately. He's going to be coming down here to do some stand-up. All right, let's bring up your host this evening. He is dressed very sharply, very funny man. Please welcome Eugene Bassham.
I did not know technology, huh? There we go. He got me. I appreciate it. Like he said, my name is Eugene Bassham. For those of you who don't know, I did not steal that name. My mom thought it looked good on a job application. So it worked out well. I know some people think, oh, you should give that name back. But, you know, white people don't want a name after it's been used by a Negro. That's just how it works. I mean, be honest. How many Martin Luther Kennedys have you ever met? You know, you haven't. You know, or Frederick Douglass Smith. Nope. You know, it's like once we get a name, if you know, we kind of own it. You know, it's certain names though. White people don't want back, and black people don't either. Like O.J. Simpson's name, nah. It's like nobody wants that name. It's really been tainted, you know. But does anybody know what OJ means? Anybody? Man, that shit blew my mind. I thought Eugene was I thought it was the whitest name a black man could have. But Orenthal?
Hi, my name's Orenthal.
That's why he ran so many yards. That nigga was still running. I was like, geez. You know, that's a weird name. I literally, it's almost like you named your kid after whoever owned your family. You know, I was like, oh, Mr. Orenthal was really good. Let's name the baby after him. He didn't beat us much. But people always assume because my name is Eugene, I'm smart. You know, but I'm really not, you know. It's just I don't let the name fool you. Eugene is just like a black superpower. It's my own personal black superpower. I'll give you an example. One day I was sitting in the house and the police just like knocked on my door. I was like, you know, most people or he looks like he would say, who the hell knocking on my door like the police? You know. And I already knew because I looked out the window. Anytime somebody knock on your door that hard, you know, you kind of take a peek, and it was like, and so, you know, I thought I'd mess with him. And so he was like, sheriff's office, and I was like, I opened the door, I'm like, yes, sir? And he said, we're looking for Eugene Bassham. I'm like, sir, that sounds like a white man's name. You might have to go next door. And he kind of laughed, and he was like, well, I'm sorry to bother you. And I was like, thank you, officer. He left. I was like, I called my grandmama, my mama. I was like, what is a dope-ass name? The police didn't even know. They just assume, you know, that I could not be Eugene. And but, you know, people always make assumptions when they see me or, you know, they look at my green eyes and my freckles, and they're like, you got to have some white in you. And I'm like, what, am I walking funny or something? I'm like, why do I have to have some white in me? And then I'll mess with them, though, if they like, it's like, yo, you know, your parents or grandparents or somebody. I was like, no, my parents are white. I just have a condition similar to what Michael Jackson had. He had vitiligo, which over time made his skin turn white. I got that rare reverse condition called nigalago, which caused my skin to get pulled over. But I don't mind being pulled over if the cop has a sense of humor. It's like, they knock on the window. Yes, sir. I was speeding. Yeah, it was a big car behind me with blue lights on. I was trying to get out the way. That was me, sir. I was like, I know. I thought you had something to do. Some of them have good spirits and let me go. One time, my wife and I got pulled over together, and she was driving, and she started crying. And so I told the officer, I was like, just give me the ticket because she's going to beat me when we get home. And so he kind of found that funny, and he didn't give us a ticket. He was like, just hit him a couple times for me. And so, I'm like, well, hell, he's got a good sense of humor too, or he's got a fetish. Yeah, people make assumptions when they see me. It's like, well, yeah, that's a handsome black guy. He must have a lot of kids, and that's rude. Because I have a lot of kids, I can't help it. I got this smartwatch. I invented an app. So y'all going to have to do me a favor and find this app and download it. Because I do have 8 kids, so I invented an app to help me. It got biometrics. The iWatches, they got biometrics. They check your heart rate, oxygen intake, all this stuff. So I invented an app to help me with my pullout. You know what I mean? Because, it's like, you just got to think when you're doing it, you ain't really thinking about making a baby. You ain't thinking about anything else, but if your heart rate and that blood pressure get to going, and then all of a sudden it goes, baby shark, do, 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 do. You like, oh, hell no, not another 5 years of that shit. But, it's a good thing, but, I was hoping I'd have this app done before anything happens. So now I have another baby on the way. So this is baby number 9, and that's his name. I don't even call names anymore. They just get numbers. I mean, like, hey, I'm getting you ready for prison. No, I'm kidding. I actually, all my kids are good though. Like I don't look it, but I'm 40 years old. I'm lying. I'm 41 now. So my oldest, she's an engineer. She helps build houses for a developer, and my youngest is 10, and she helps me with my migraines. I mean, she gives them to me, cause homeschool is a killer, bruh. I don't know. I mean, they should make beating your kids illegal. It should be illegal. You know what I mean? Because with homeschool, if nobody ever figured out how to break up the black family, homeschool could do that shit. I kid you not. I'd be like, I'm in my room. It's like they can't come in my room. It's my space. And they're like, what are you doing? And I can't tell them because I just got the manscape. You know what I mean? But, it's like they can't even give me privacy to handle my business. It's like, jeez. It's like, can you imagine? Men don't normally shave down there, so you feel guilty. You feel like it's something that you're not supposed to be doing. It's like, I didn't even know what a taint was until one of my white friends was like, yeah, you got to shave that too. What? I mean, it's like, it's like, or you could wax it. Why would you wax something down there? But I mean, I guess, it's, we're in a society now where, everything, is kind of matters. Like, guys wearing skinny jeans, I don't know why you do it. To me, it's like, I feel like that's brutality. Don't people know that black thighs matter too? I mean, that shit. I've struck a lot of matches wearing tight pants. I can't do it. It hurts. But I realized I thought that was finna go. I was gonna kick it up like I was James Brown or something, and y'all have been like, oh, that black guy's cool. He tried to do that. I don't even know where the hell I was. Well, let's start with something different. How do you guys feel about midgets? Because midgets like to terrify me. I mean, for some reason, they pick on me. And Moondeck, who was up here before, he was wondering why I've gotten into so many fights with midgets. And it's not that I want to fight a little person. It's that I think the little person wants to fight me. You know what I mean? I think they use their height to belittle me. You know what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. So I had an ice cream truck when I was in high school. Yeah, I didn't sell drugs. Well, the amount of sugar that they put in ice creams could be considered a drug. Because when you have little 10-year-olds like, can I get the SpongeBob? You know, yeah, like $2, give me. And so I got good at those kind of transactions. So I had an ice cream truck, and I'll tell you, when I first had my ice cream truck, there was a lot of competition. But I got me some speakers, actually bigger than that, and put them on my ice cream truck. And when I went through the white neighborhoods, you know, you got to be traditional in order to make money. Then Timmy comes out, ice cream, Mr. Ice Cream. And they think you're going to get something free until their parents open that billfold up, you know. But then I go through the black neighborhoods and the projects, I'd have to go through with the bang. It was like, and then all the drug dealers heard that music and just took off towards my truck. I was like, oh shit, they finna rob me. It was like, give me everything. I was like, what? You finna rob me? He's like, no, I'm gonna buy it for the kids. I was like, oh shit, I peed a little bit. Yeah. So I didn't know the marketing was gonna work, but you gotta be different sometime. And but after that, I mean, I made good money selling ice cream until those damn midgets, you know. And so, you know, I'm one of the type that as long as I'm making money, I'm gonna stay out. So I was in the projects at about 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I saw this little kid getting ready to come across the street. So I said, no, you need to keep your little bitty ass over there, because I'm not finna sell to some kid at 1 o'clock in the morning, tell your mama to come out. And because it's dangerous. It's the projects. Not, you know, I didn't know that it was a niglet. These night midgets. If y'all, a niglet's a night midget. I saw your faces. So I didn't know it was a niglet. You know, they hang out with drug dealers and stuff like that. So he came and said, F you and your truck. And I realized it was a little person. And I was like, well, you better, you know, watch your little bitty mouth before I kick your ass down the yellow brick road. And so he got mad and took like 2 steps and like spit on me. And I don't know if you've ever spit on a black person before, but it's like liquid nigga, you know what I mean? It is terrible. And midgets overcompensate when they spit. So this spit was like the size of Kevin Hart, you know what I mean? And so I was like, you know, so I jumped out of my truck and, you know, and I went to swing on him and he ducked. And I was like, shit, because this midget was like the Incredible Hulk of midgets. And so he hit me in my inner thigh and was kind of like buckle me. And then all of a sudden 2 other midgets came on the other side and started hitting me in my back and my butt. So then I remembered I'm a black belt. And so I just started kicking little nigglets everywhere, you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden I turned around and kicked this midget, boom. And she was like, my pussy. I was like, oh, I didn't realize, but, you know, it was a female. But, I mean, I wasn't trying to kick her on purpose. It was just, like, right there, you know? And so I just picked her up and threw her at the other 2 midgets and jumped in my ice cream truck and drove off. So that's how I got out the ice cream business, because I got tired of people saying, man, I heard you had a little problem. I was like, yeah, my grandmother, you know, she would laugh. She was like, yeah, baby. They still telling me about them little peoples you been picking on. I was like, I didn't pick on them. They was messing with me. Well, y'all, I hope y'all ready for a great show. That's a little bit about myself. I'm a midget kicking person. That wasn't the first midget that I fought, but we're gonna bring up our next comic, and you guys gonna have a great time. This person is very funny. I've worked with her before. She makes me laugh every time. You guys are gonna have a great time with her. I'll be right back after she gets done with her set. So I look forward to this great crowd. Y'all have great energy. We appreciate y'all coming out. Also, if you smoke, there's a little area that they made for you guys to just go back in the back corner outside of this curtain. If you know, some people gotta have their nicotine. Yeah, there you go. I don't think you smoking nicotine, bro. It rhymes with Beth. Nah, I'm kidding. But our next comedian, very funny lady. She actually's been here. She works all over town. She makes me very proud to host this show. I kid you not. I mean, I like funny people. I do. Not funny looking people, but funny people, yes. Funny looking people I talk about. And that's why I'm worried about this new baby. Because when you talk about how ugly people are, you know what I mean? I didn't think I was going to have another one. So, but coming to the stage, y'all, get your energy up. Get your energy up. Come on, man. Come on, man. Give us some. Sara, Raffaella. That's your mic right there.
Let's give it up to Eugene, right? I enjoy working with him. Oh, is this cutting out a little bit? No. Okay, we're good. Now it is. Is it good? Can you hear me? Doing all right? Awesome. Yeah, you guys are fucking awesome. Sweet. I'm really glad you guys are all here with me right now, actually. Today marks the 2-year anniversary of my accident, so I'm lucky to be here with you guys. Good, you're excited too. Great. Awesome. 2 years ago on this day, I tried to stop a Ford F-150 with my body. It didn't work. It didn't. No, it did not. I didn't do it. It was absolutely terrible. And the worst part was that I saw it coming. Right? And now, I don't know if you guys heard me. I did say Ford F-150, right? Okay, because it was a Ford F-150. A Ford F-150. I'm 5'4", 5'3" when I'm hungover. Like, I'm really lucky I didn't get any grill-on-grill action. It was scary as shit, though. You know, I saw it out of the corner of my eye, and I put my hands out, because that's how you stop a truck. And I closed my eyes, and I had a split-second conversation where I told myself what every convict tells a new cellmate. Close your eyes and take it. Because it's not stopping and it's gonna hurt. It did. It hurt a lot. Yeah, that was bad. As I said, I put my hands out because, again, it's how you stop a truck, in case you guys were wondering. And it buckled my arms and took my legs out from under me and put me up onto the hood and threw me into the passenger side lane. And I blacked out for a little bit, but when I finally came to, I looked over and I saw my hat and my cigarette. And I went, oh, my cigarette. And I almost grabbed it, too. But I didn't, because I was hit by a fucking truck. Yeah. So I hopped up, and after about a few minutes of acting like a rabid animal that was just, I don't know, struck by a semi or whatever, paramedics show up, fire department shows up, and I'm getting ready to leave for the emergency room. And the guy who hit me came up and said, and this is the most frustrating part, I'll send you prayers. Yeah, no, Tom, no, you're gonna be sending me checks. That's what you're gonna be sending me, you dick. Fucking asshole. Look left, always. My roommate, though, told me that around the time that I got hit, my dog actually started acting like weird and started shaking like something was wrong. And it was like she knew, which isn't a surprise to me. We're basically the same being. She's a husky lab. She has double the shedding. I'm a Catholic Jew. I've got double the guilt. So we really understand each other. I'm just not going to touch that part. That's why she's sad. To be fair, when you don't touch that part, she might be sad. I'm just gonna say. Anyway, so when I got home, she obviously ran up to me and was really excited to see that I had gotten home. And I hugged her, and I just started to cry. And it took her a moment, but she realized what was happening, and she got really uncomfortable, and then started to scoot away from me, and looked at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Mind you, I'm like ugly crying, like, what the fuck is wrong with you? You're a registered emotional support animal. Biggest waste of money ever. Just kidding, though. That's not why I registered. I've had plenty of, oh my good Lord, plenty of shit happen, as I'm sure all of you have had happen. Actually, I'm curious, and I can only see, there we go. Have any of you been mugged? If you have, will you raise your hand? No one's gonna, no? Okay. If you've ever been mugged at gunpoint, will you raise your other hand? Normally it's me attempting to trigger someone. That doesn't work when nobody's been mugged, so I'll see you outside. And then you're coming to the next show. I'm gonna need you to be a part of it. No, I was mugged at gunpoint though. I'm a lucky individual, we'll just say that much. But they took everything. They took my purse, my phone, tampons. And I got to thinking, I was like, I probably should do something to like prevent this from happening again, you know, like plan. And so I came up with the idea of a decoy purse. What's a decoy purse? You don't ask me. It's a purse that you carry around that has a bunch of just random shit in it. Like a floppy disk or an open jar of pickles, an iPhone 4 charger, throw in a tub of Vaseline, and a bag of butt plugs. They're gonna be looking like, what the fuck's in here? Okay. I apologize, guys. Which is great, because then while they're running off with all the pointless shit, you know, I'm still here with all my stuff. Now, I'm sure you're also not asking me, where would I put my things, right? That's why I had the butt plugs. Don't judge me 'cause you're jealous. I thought of it first. In other news, I did just celebrate a birthday. Thank you. Talking about all these times I almost died, it's like I'm excited about it. No? Okay. No, but I just turned 31. Which surprises most people, because apparently I look like I am in my 20s, which is great when you're in your 40s or 50s, because we all know that's just a nice thing to say. No? Okay, cool. when you're in your 30s, though, and people think you're 20, it's not a nice thing to say. They just treat you like you're 20. For those of you who laughed, you're not 20, are you? You understand. You get it. 20s suck. It's all about figuring yourself out, right? That's when I learned a little bit more about my sexuality. I'm a queer woman. And the way I like to explain like how I figured that out is like, let's just say I had a slight PG. And there was a Thai food restaurant down the street. And I would go and I'd get the pad Thai with peanuts. Over and over and over again. Until one day I ordered it without the penis and it was amazing. I'll still eat peanut because sometimes I'm desperate. That was peanut butter sandwiches. Sometimes I'm desperate. I'm sorry. I normally perform so much better. No, sometimes. But one thing that happens, obviously, for those of us who are in our 30s, we get the question about children, right? And I don't want kids. Like every time I imagine myself pregnant, I get a weird craving for raw milk and start looking for the nearest flight of stairs. I've just randomly started collecting metal coat hangers. I don't really know. I don't know. Hey, listen, okay, we could go the other route. I think Casey Anthony had some good ideas. Hey? Oh, just kidding. This is hard enough to maintain as is. I'm not going to fuck it up for some little shit that statistically is going to be sucking off my teat for 25 years. No, thank you. I sometimes get the response to that with, why don't you adopt? I'm like, did you hear what I just said? Well, one, infants terrify me, just because that's way too much responsibility and I already have enough commitment issues. And adopting an older child, I mean, that's just damaged goods, right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Like the fun of being a parent is fucking them up from the start, right? Be the reason they go to therapy, not the one who pays for it. Yeah. I do have a good relationship with my father. I swear, I do. No, he's a good man. He drinks a bit, though. And by a bit, I mean a lot. And so when that happens, as we've all, I'm sure, been around drunk people, they say things that might not sound the best to other people, right? And I mean, I've had to deal with this my whole life. So I've come up with the game of deciphering drunk dad. My therapist calls it processing, to each their own. I actually, you guys will be happy to know, I do have an IUD, so I won't be having children anytime soon. But when I told my dad that I had gotten an IUD, his response was, don't become a cum bucket. Right, that sounds terrible to most people. But what he's saying to me is like, kiddo, you have got a lot of options out there, okay? Don't sell yourself short, okay? Don't settle for less, okay? Be a cum cup, not a cum bucket. One time I was walking out of the house and he told me I looked like a Garden City hooker. He was saying, kiddo, you're a business professional, okay? You dress for the job you want. You are better than that. Be more high class. Go for Boise. Yeah, no, he's a great guy. When I told him that I was bi, he said, I just thought you were a lesbian. Right, but what that says is, kiddo, I support you no matter what, okay? I'm gonna love you unconditionally, but I was preparing for the worst case scenario. Yeah. I'm gonna finish it up with this one. It's completely unrelated. There's no transition. Except for this one that I just told you about. Who in here has had a Brazilian wax? Yeah, don't be shy about it. It was just me. You went and ripped hair out of your vagina. You're okay. That tells me you're not a cautious person. But and if anybody else out there raised their hand, I did not see. I apologize. But I do think that's where they coined the term "pain is beauty." I'm dead serious, 'cause like afterwards, my vagina was looking like chef's kiss. Okay. If there were a Kelly Blue Book for vaginas, it would be in mint condition. I could have been modeling for Georgia O'Keeffe. Yeah. It was like finding a diamond in the muff. I swear. Right? I was on my period though, so I guess it was kind of like a blood diamond. Don't worry, no little African children were harmed in the pruning of this pussy, okay? It just involved a weird Russian gypsy. I don't know what happened. One thing they don't tell you, though, is that the vagina, the skin down there is pretty malleable. I'm going to assume you guys knew that. But when you yank it in one general direction multiple times, stretches it out a little bit, right? So when I got done, I looked down and my shit was looking like Zoidberg's mouth. I went down to take a piss and all I heard was whoop, 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 whoop. Thank you guys, I appreciate your patience with the technical difficulties. You guys have been wonderful.
Give it up for Sara Raffaella. Man, she's awesome. That is scary. All I could think of was like ninja labia. I was like, that's all I could think. I was like, oh, that's crazy. See, she said, ninja. That's it. She got the skills. I like the boots though. She's got awesome boots on. Guys, our next comedian, great person, very funny. She also does comedy and other performing arts at Curbside Comedy. She also has a where you could look up Curbside Comedy for her. She'll plug it a little bit, but she does perform all over town. She is a very funny lady. Krystal Moore.
All right. Oh, yeah. It's my own microphone. I'm not going to say I'm like happy about the corona thing, but I am just like really grateful for a socially acceptable excuse to bring my own microphone. It's, kind of considered diva, which is totally cool if you can sing, but I can't. I'm upset about it. Yeah. I think we can all agree this is clearly the soul of a diva, right? Whose voice has been stolen. I'm still mad about it. Oh my goodness, nothing makes me have to pee or have cotton mouth like just coming up here. As soon as I come up here, I immediately need to pee, and my mouth is dry. So I'm gonna drink some water and make it worse. Okay. Oh my goodness! Thank you so much, Moondeck, for putting me on this show. I can't tell you how nice it is to see people. Really, just, oh my goodness! I was already a stay-at-home mom, so I was like used to this isolation, being at home all the time. Oh, I have started keeping track of my periods though, as to when you put me on a show, because they're always aligned. I don't know. But like, tell me the truth, Moondeck, are you tracking my vaginal discharge? It usually works. Sometimes, you know, you miss and you end up with a couple bastards. All my kids are bastards, and I love them all the same. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Oh. I'm 37 years old. I've been doing this. I just turned 37, so I realized, oh my God, I've almost been doing this for a decade, and that's really disappointing because this is as far as I've made it. Yeah, I know. I thought it'd be fun though. A lot has changed in the 10 years. So I thought it'd be fun if I told you guys my first joke. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to attempt to fill 20 minutes with one joke. My first joke. Look, I have a toddler and a teenager. I like a challenge. I'm going to try to fill 20 minutes with my first joke. And we're not going to judge the me from then. It was a different time, okay? But I stand by the content of that joke, which is why we're gonna, at the end of it, we're gonna break it down, we're gonna do an analysis, and then I'm gonna tell it like I would today, okay? Modernized. A lot's happened, and I've learned a lot about myself since then, all right? That's really why I brought my own microphone, though, is because I'm gonna tell this joke, and I need my own microphone for what I'm gonna do with it. It wouldn't be sanitary to share. All right, so this is how I told the joke then, okay? Back then. What they don't know is I've actually set the bar here, you know. Okay, this is how I told the joke then. I'm not a lesbian, but we'll talk about that later. I'm not a lesbian, but I only watch lesbian porn. There's a certain guarantee that I won't come across a few things. Like, I'll never see the words Asian teen owned by giant cock. It's not the owned or the giant cock that I got. I like being owned by a giant cock on occasion, you know. It's the teen part. There's only like 2 years where that's legal, you know. Like legal. This part of the joke isn't funny. It's just a direct accusation. You guys are sick. Fucking deal with that shit. You're sick. It's gross. Deal with it. All right? Okay. There's also a guarantee that I won't ever see, here, it's this scene, okay? It's this scene. It's a beautiful teen face, heavily made up, tears streaming, right? Tears streaming, mascara running, just like, well, I am bone dry. I just want to give her some water, give her a blanket. You know, it puts me in mom brain. Immediately. I want to wrap her up, pay for her counseling, you know. Let her know there's only like so many cocks you can take to the back of your throat and live with yourself. I'm not a prude. Like, I say that because that limit it's right here. Okay? I can see it. I'm at my last one. He's a special man. There's no more. Yeah. It just puts me in mom brain, you know, and I'm a single mom. I'm not a single mom now, but I was then. I'm a single mom, and it puts me in mom brain, and I don't have a lot of time to be, you know, taking care of myself. But you give me 15 seconds, I'll get that shit done in 10. Because I'm efficient, all right? It's that lesbian keyword in the search. Takes care of all of that. So that was the first joke I ever told. It's not exactly the way I told it. I can't remember really, but it was a good start. I think we can agree that's a good stand-up start, right? First time on the stage. If that's your first go, that's not how it's supposed to start, because then you think that's how it goes. All right? That's not how it goes every time. So I did 2 open mics with that joke. Killed. It was like, this is great. Everything's great. And then I went to New York and I did an open mic, but not with that joke. I just, you know, like a redneck girl from Idaho was like, I'm going to just go to an open mic in New York and wow these city people with my hysterical Idaho girl ways and ideas. You should know then I wasn't an atheist and I was still a little conservative. It was very unfortunate, but like I said, I've learned a lot about myself, and I bombed horribly. The comedians know bombing feels like, you know, when you wrote that 6th grade love letter, you know what I mean, to that crush, and you just poured your whole heart and soul into this love letter, and you folded it up like a fucking origami, and you drew the little hearts on it with the goddamn gel pens, with the glitter and everything. You worked up the courage to give that letter to his best friend, or her best friend, you know, whatever. And then they read it in front of the whole school. And it's not that the whole school was laughing, it's that they were embarrassed for you. That's what bombing feels like. And in New York, in a closet with 30 other comedians whose whites of the eyes you can see, you just want to jump off a building. I don't know how I made it back, but I did give up comedy for like a year and a half. It was very discouraging. I got back out there, though, obviously, because I'm here. All right, how would I tell that joke today? It's totally differently. Like I said, I have learned a lot about myself since then. I'm not a lesbian, but what I didn't know about myself. I'm not a lesbian still today, but there's not much I don't like. That's how I'll put it. In fact, I've written a comprehensive encyclopedia of sexual preferences as ice cream flavors. And if I had an ice cream flavor, it would just be ice cream. I like to do this in a good little, oh good, that is, I was like, oh God, I like to do this in a group because we get to learn a little bit about each other. So you, right there in the corner, what's your favorite ice cream? Cookies and cream. Oh, cookies and cream is trans. You get little cookies, get a little cream. What's your favorite ice cream? Prude. All right, what's your favorite ice cream? Chocolate. Monogamous straight. We know that. You can tell. It's not what you think, racists. No, most people like chocolate. It's the most common. Mm-hmm. What's your favorite ice cream? Ooh, you're a lucky girl. Strawberry is the submissive end of the BDSM spectrum. Are you a licorice whip? Yeah. You find a strawberry, you hold on to that strawberry. Everyone can use a strawberry. He's even in red. Isn't that cute? It's like you planned it. Strawberry. Little strawberry shortcake. All right, favorite ice cream? Either one of you? Ooh, mint chocolate chip. I don't know if you want to hear this, sir, but that is swingers. Oh, okay. You got the sure satisfaction of the mint with treats. Chocolate chips. Or what's your favorite ice cream? That's like still prude, but I want to be fancy about it. Do you know that she likes mint chocolate chip? Are you sure? Maybe you like toppings. You like a sundae, don't you? Yeah, you do. You like toppings. Sundaes, it's complicated. All right, what's your favorite ice cream over there? Rocky Road. Ooh, Rocky Road is role-playing. Because it's a rocky road. Who else has got one? Because I can't see anybody now past these people. Salted caramel. I'm going to put that with like the peanut butter. You like a salty and a little salty, a little sweet. A little sweet and a little salty? Yeah. All right, what else do we got? Pistachio. Pistachio's the gays, of course. It's rich, it's vibrant, it's nutty. Rich old gays, different. You get some money, you turn into a rum raisin. I don't know what the science is on that. Any other ones? Coffee. Ooh, okay, hang on, I gotta see you. Who said coffee? Raise your hand. Oh, coffee is asexuals? Just no. No, thank you. I like coffee too. It's a conundrum. It's a real conundrum. Favorites we didn't get to. Let's see. Cotton candy. Likes it rough. Yeah, she do. Yeah, she do. Bubble gum. Daddy issues. Yeah. Eggnog is mommy issues. It's not as common. Yeah. Butter pecan. Any butter pecan fans? Yeah, it's foot fetishists. Yeah, that one was verified by one Oleg Shapchuk. That's someone who knows Oleg Shapchuk, and that he is definitely got a foot fetish. Let's see. Chunky Monkey. Any Chunky Monkey fans? Banana play. Birthday bash? It's furries. Yeah. Looks like a party, but it's not. Nothing disappoints like birthday bash. I think I'll just read a little scripture for you now. Take you to church. It's I wrote this scripture. It's the gospel according to some slut. I call it, the places you'll hoe. Oh, good, you hear the influence. You have brains in your head, you have cum in your balls. You can steer yourself any direction that calls. You're on your own, and you know what tricks you know, and you're the bitch who'll decide where to hoe. Truer than anything in the Bible. Okay. You guys are great. I am thoroughly enjoying you guys as a crowd. This side's a little bit stonewalling me, but we'll get you on board. They look at each other like, we're not. You are. You are. It's okay. Some people just life quietly to themselves. It's all right. It's all right. I all summer I did curbside comedy, like you said, which is when everything closed down. I don't have any other usable skills, so this is all I do. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to take this on to people's curbside, put on a clown face, and make it truly terrifying. I got on the news, but the cops were never called, so I consider it a success. No. At the very least, I'm very used to playing for like just 2 people in their yard. It's a lot of fun. So I don't mind you two being a little like, oh, we'll just laugh quietly to ourselves. That's all right. I left this open to a page. Just sometimes you write something down and then you never come back to it, and time goes by and then it's gone. It's into the ether. There's no finishing this joke. Was it a joke? Is it a grocery list? What were you getting at? You'll never know. And sometimes I just like to share those at a show at random. So here's one. I'm just going to read this whole page that's clearly broken up into 3 different sections. These are 3 different thoughts. Okay. Pedo fish. That's it on the line, just pedo fish. Silver linings pandemic. They seem to be on the same, like in the same group though, so I don't know if that's like was I putting those 2 things together? Or pedophile fish part, is that a silver lining to the pandemic? I don't know what my thought process was. Ceramics teacher, I'm from Weezer. Now that part's true. I don't know what the ceramics teacher part. I've never even taken a ceramics class. I don't know. Where you own Scott wearing 10-year-olds in Grangeville? Question mark. Anybody got an answer to that? Grangeville? 10-year-olds? No? Okay. They don't send recon letters. At some point, I thought that was important. Or that I would come back to it and finish it. I don't know, you guys. Let's see. Where do I want to leave you guys? Do I want to bring us together or alienate you? Alienate? All the above. I am just skilled for that. I can both bring us together and alienate us all. It's maybe my only skill. It's bringing us together through our shared alienation. I don't know. I just made that up. Oh, okay. This one's fun. You know what they say about pregnancy? Makes a threesome a foursome. I'm sorry. Immediately. I apologize. I'm sorry that popped into my head. I don't feel good about it. Okay? If it makes you feel any better though, I was pregnant when that popped in my head. And I immediately shared it with my partner who went, And I was like, gold. I'm writing it down. Oh, thank you guys so much. You've been fantastic. You can look me up. Krystal, it's spelled like a stripper would spell it, with a K. All right.
Krystal is great, yo. She is. Sorry about that. Man, very funny lady. I actually was having flashbacks of my kids when she was talking about kids, though. You know, what's crazy about my kids, though, is that, like, with this pandemic, you know, trying to set up play dates and stuff, I really didn't do play dates. Like, we would go out and she'd find kids in the park and play with, not actually have these arranged meetings with other people's kids. So when I set up our first play date, I was like, oh, we'll have like a little tea party, and then I'll make them a salad. But I didn't realize that 10-year-olds argue about anything. They don't care who's around. I think they think it's just, that's what kids are supposed to do. I'm like, and I don't even argue in my house because I can't take anything serious. So if my wife say, I hate when you do that, I'm like, well, you want me to do it like this or something? I don't know. But so I had this play date, and what was weird is after the tea party, I started making this salad, and this little girl looks at my daughter and says, my daddy tosses the best salads. And then my daughter's like, nuh-uh, my daddy tosses the best salads. And I'm like, I immediately feel creepy because I don't know what to do with that, So I end up going to the neighbor's house and be like, look, we're going to have to settle this conversation. So I pulled out a bag of salad because I'm like, your daughter said you tosses the best salad. And I just want to see what your technique is. And I like that he had a sense of humor because he said, this one time at band camp. Yeah, kids are crazy like that, though. My daughter, all my kids kind of blow my mind. My oldest daughter, before she became an engineer, she wanted to be like a professional wrestler. And it was like weird the first time I came home because I wrestled in high school. And so I came home and she was in my high school wrestling uniform. You know what I'm talking about, the little one piece? And so she walked around and she was every bit of like 200 pounds, so I was like, I'm going to just go to my room, put my jersey back where you found it, because I didn't even know what to do at that point. But my kids, they drive me crazy sometimes. Are we still going to change this mic out? Oh, okay. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm up here killing time. No. Killing time for a black guy's prison, if y'all didn't know. I don't feel like I'm held captive. Well, I really do. These lights give me flashbacks, I get nervous every time I'm on Spotlight. It's like I want to give you my wallet, I just get nervous. Cop says, give me a license. I just give him everything. It's like, you have money in here? I was like, no, I don't have money in there. Officer, just hand me the wallet back. But our next comedian is our headliner. She is a very funny lady. I was here last night at the show, so you guys are gonna have to tune in or come and check out Moondeck when he's doing his show. And I get the words mixed up, but it's something Strangeville or These Motherfuckers Are Crazy, because literally it had me laughing all night. I ended up dressing up like Moondeck. If y'all did, I was Black Moondeck last night because I ain't have shit else to do but be a black white guy. But she was there, and like she just had me rolling with some of the things that came out of her head. I did not realize that she was that funny until like seeing her live and in person. Your next comedian is Iris Benson. Give it up for her.
Hello, thank you for coming out. I feel like I might be the most high energy comic on this show, which never happens. I'm usually like, the person before me is like, hey, la la la, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna bring it down now. It's been a crazy year, hasn't it? I'm glad it's over, almost over. When I first we're having technical difficulties. When I first had to isolate or whatever we're doing, lockdown, I decided to journal, It was the most mundane journal entry you could possibly have. I was like, I opened my eyes and looked at the ceiling for an hour. Then I pet the cat for an hour. Then I pet the dog for an hour. And then I had some saltines. They were a little stale. And I just like leaned in thinking if I built this habit, then I would write more. And I did until like stuff started happening again. I went back to work. I immediately stopped baking bread. I'm glad they called ahead of time and told me, like, we're starting back up next week, because if they'd been like, hey, can you start tomorrow? I'd be like, I just started the new season of Ozarks. I don't think I can come in till that's done. I'm a recovering addict of new age bullshit. Yeah, I was really into astrology when I was in high school. And now I'm not anymore, but if people talk about astrology, I jones, you know, like a heroin addict that's been sober for like 20 years, but they just like a good drug adventure story, you know, like if I'm walking down a dark alley and somebody's like, hey, what's your sign? I'm like, I shouldn't engage you, but I'm a Leo. And then they're like, well, you don't seem that much like a Leo. And then I'll be like, well, that's because my moon's in Virgo and my rising sign's in Gemini, just like Madonna. You know? And then I start hoping somebody will be like, I'm an Aquarius, water signs, woo! So I can be like, actually, Aquarius is an air sign, bitch. Thing that always snaps me out of it, though, are Scorpios. There's always that one Scorpio that's like, I'm a Scorpio, so like I'm really sexual. And then you're like, fuck you, I'm really sexual too. And then they're like, no, you don't get it. Like, I'm really sexual. And then I start saying weird competitive sexual stuff, you know? Like, well, I just came 3 times arguing with you about this. I de-virginized myself with a banana and I still haven't had a dick that big. And they're just like, no, me. But like everybody's sexual, okay? Like the most boring person here is like, I bet I'd be really good at porn. You know? Like the shyest person in the room's like, you don't know the beast. You don't know the beast that's waiting to get out. It's like a cat watching a bird just, I'm moving this weekend, it's not the best time to go to another state and do comedy, like when you're in the middle of a move. This last roommate has been crazy. The one before her though, she got a boyfriend like right in the middle of us living together, and they were like in that honeymoon phase, you know, where everything they have in common is a revelation. You know, like one day they were making breakfast with each other and he was cutting vegetables and he goes, this is a nice sharp knife. If there's anything I hate, it's a dull knife. And she goes, oh my God. Me too. I hate a dull knife too. I was like, really? You both hate dull knives? Imagine that. Imagine the 2 people on this planet who both hate tools that have lost their functioning finally coming together in this crazy world. She like secretly moved her boyfriend in with us because I figured it out because she went out of town and he just stayed and chilled. And it was like under the guise of walking the dog, but then after he would walk the dog, he would listen to like really boring podcasts in my living room and sleep in her bed. And then I woke up one morning and went to the bathroom, and the poop candle was lit. Like, he didn't just take a nap on her bed and then go home. He lit the poop candle like a polite roommate. You don't do that. You either go home and take a shit or stink the place up like the freeloading fuck you are. And then he thanked me for running the dishwasher like I was the one dirtying up dishes in the apartment that he pays for. The thing that really pissed me off, though, where I almost like yelled at them. I'm not confrontational, so I never actually yelled at them. But he goes, "Hey, Iris, if you ever want me to leave, so you know, you can have some privacy, let me know." But he said it in this way, like, we both know you're not fucking. So it's fine that I'm here, right? Yeah, like sitting in my bathrobe and sobbing and drinking gin doesn't require privacy. This last roommate, have you ever, like, I'm a messy person, so it took me a while to catch on when I first started living with other people that there are people that will just try and gaslight you into thinking that you're the dirtier roommate. And they're like, I'm not cleaning up after this. I'm not cleaning up after you. I found a hair in the bathtub. I'm not cleaning that. You clean that. And then you realize, like, this bitch has never cleaned anything. She just bitches about it when I make a mess. She's never cleaned anything. She would take all the garbage out of her room and then bring it into the living room, and then I would break it up and take it out. And then after a while, I was like, why hasn't she ever, like, she knows the schedule now. She knows Wednesday's the night. The fuck? And then she would come out if I was cooking something. She'd be like, aren't you going to turn the fan on? Because apparently you turn the fan on not just when shit is burning. I didn't know that. I learned something new. But the other day, like, I was cleaning out something that I don't fucking know how long it's been in her room, but it smelled so bad. And I was just so mad because I was like, you bitched about the fan so much. And this has clearly been in your room for weeks and weeks. I don't have a punchline for that. I was just venting. I was just venting about that. I started bartending like just a few years ago. It's kind of a weird job to start in your 40s. Like I went to cosmetology school in my 20s, which is like one of the biggest regrets of my life. Yeah, and then bartending's been like one of the best decisions I've ever made. Within a month, I moved out of my parents' house, which I think is a good goal to have. Yeah. When you're 42, it's kind of cramping my style. Because my dad's a nudist. So I never had people over, you know. He was fine with having people over. He'd be like, we'd love to have you for the holidays. I'm going to be naked the whole time. Just slip it in there real quick. And they'd be like, oh, okay. That's cool with me. It's your fucking house. Thinking like, I know what they were thinking. They're like, we're going to glimpse you at 2 a.m. on the way to the bathroom in your underwear, right? That's what nudist, that's not what that fucking means. That means you're going to be making eye contact with his giblets while he carves Thanksgiving turkey. He's going to put his foot up on something. Yeah, and scratch his fat, hairy belly while he lectures you about the World War II documentary he just made everybody watch. When it comes time to open presents, he's going to do one of these. Yeah. He's going to do the bend and the snap. He doesn't really have hair on his head, so he just snaps his back hair. A flasher followed me and my girlfriends all through high school, and at first it freaked us out, but then we just kind of got used to it, you know, like the 50th time at the mall, he would jump out and we'd just be like, "Hey dude, how's it going? We're gonna go talk to that cute boy that works at the record store. Maybe go by Hot Topic if you want to whip your dick out there." I went through a park near my house, and this lady had also just been flashed by this dude. He was menacing the whole neighborhood, I guess. And she was talking to a cop, and the cop was like, "Have you seen anyone suspicious?" And I was like, "Yeah, I totally know that guy. He has a mustache and a black Trans Am. I think he's got like 30% body fat. That's what I would guess. He was like Smokey and the Bandit, but a sex offender." And the cop was like, "How many times have you seen this guy?" And I was like, "I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he knows my schedule." And then the cop was like, "And you never reported it?" And then I had that first moment that you have when you're young where you're like, "Oh, I'm fucked up. I should have reported that shit. I don't know right from wrong." And then these other girls that we were friends with, they also got flashed by the same guy. Me and my friends called him the Naked Man. And they called him Mr. Masturbation. And I should have known that I wanted to be a comedian because I got very jealous that they thought up a better name for him. Yeah, thank you. My dad also watched porn in front of me as a kid. Yeah, but I feel like we're even because I made him watch Full House. Because I still watch porn. You can pay me to watch that Fuller House bullshit. But you knew there was some missing information between the Flasher story and the Naked Dad story, right? So we all have those friends that like their stories about their childhood don't really match up with how fucked up they are. You know, like my mom was always telling me to wear dresses, and that's why I'm a cutter. You know, or like my parents were strict Christian Scientists, so now I want you to punch me in the stomach really hard, you know? My grandmother read The Velveteen Rabbit to me, and then she died, and now I can only have sex in this rabbit costume. You know, there's some missing information, that's all I'm saying. Like, pretty much everyone on this show, I'm beating the dead atheist horse. I'm also an atheist. I didn't realize how much of an atheist I was till I listened to this podcast. And it was about this couple and their child was dying of cancer. Wait for it. And the dad was up all night comforting his sick child and nothing was working. So he decides to pray and the child stops crying. And I knew I was an atheist because my reaction was, "Fuck this podcast. This better not be about the power of prayer. That baby better die." Yeah. And then I was like, what the fuck is wrong with me? I would rather a baby die than fit my view of the world. I need to learn some spiritual lessons. I need to listen to the rest of this podcast. You know what happened? That baby died. because you can't cure terminal cancer with prayer. Don't get me wrong, I pray. You know, like when my bank account's low, I pray. When a cop's behind me, I pray. When my dog was going to die, I prayed. So I'm pretty sure I would pray if my kid was going to die. Would have to be at least as cool as my dog, but I'm pretty sure that I would pray. Like, it's just an instinct that you have when you don't know what to do. Like, I get it. I'm just saying, like, collect some yogurt lids and do a walkathon too, you know? Maybe get a medical degree. Am I bringing you guys down? I hope I'm not. I've been fired a lot for not sounding happy enough. I don't know if that's a surprise. This is how I sound. I sound like a less effeminate, more suicidal Ben Stein. The first time it happened, I waxed this woman's anus. Yeah, which is what she was paying me to do. I wasn't her waitress, and I waxed her anus. But I feel like there's a special place in hell for somebody that puts their ass in your face and then complains to management about your demeanor. You know? Like, yeah. It'd be one thing if I burned it and sealed it shut. But she left with a beautiful pink hairless anus. She was just a bitch. And then I sold cheese at farmers markets. I guess the guy that worked the booth before me was like the rock star cheese salesman. Because this old girl came up to me. She was like, you know why Chris was so good at his job? Because he acted really happy all the time. So I took it upon myself to tell this little bitch about life. I was like, well, some of us are Tiggers and some of us are Eeyores, okay? Someday you're going to bite into a chocolate-covered turd, and you know why? Because the person that sold it to you acted really happy. There's a reason they're called, thank you. Thank you. There's a reason they're called Happy Meals, you know? I used to do a thing called TaskRabbit. I don't know if they have that here in Boise, but it's basically like Uber for like house cleaning and like chores and stuff. And a guy, they had a thumbs up, thumbs down rating system. And a guy gave me a thumbs down, said I was fine but not great. I was in community college for like 20 years. I know my way around a pass-fail class. Fine but not great is a pass, motherfucker. Yeah. Some service jobs, you don't want the person acting happy, you know? If you're getting a rape kit done, you don't want your nurse practitioner being like, oh my goodness, somebody had a rough night. Come on, let's have a smile. You know what you need to do, Debbie Downer? You need to watch some more cat videos. Maybe some meditation will take your mind off this petri dish that's never going to get tested. Thank you. Thank you. In addition to anuses, I also wax vaginas for a living. And like, women get really self-conscious when they come in there. They think shit is wrong with them that's not wrong with them. They're like, oh my God, I'm a beast. I have like 3 hairs. And it's because dudes tell like all these stories about like the fucked up vaginas they've seen. Like, it was dragging on the ground like a drop transmission. I could tie her labia into a bow. I had to send a canary down in there. I bumped my head on a stalactite. I saw some beautiful cave paintings. I just want you all to know that I've seen more vaginas than any of you combined. Yeah, unless one of you has been very prolific, that sometimes happens. I have a boss at work, I feel like he's in like the triple hundreds. But for the most part, I feel like your vagina is fine, you know? Like, unless you were mauled by a badger, or you did a donkey show in Mexico, it probably falls within the median range of what a vagina is supposed to look like. You know? I've seen an 80-year-old vagina. Yeah, some people want to look good for the coroner. Yeah. And you know what? If you take the gray pubes off an 80-year-old vagina, it's like cutting the mold off a piece of cheese. You know? Still tastes the same. Oh, thank you. All right. Thank you. You guys are fun. I'm usually single. And it's fine. I'm not like crying into ice cream and listening to Celine Dion about it or anything, but every once in a while I'll see a lady, I'm like, I don't want to become her. Like, there was a lady at my dog park, and like, you know how we all talk to our dogs or our cats? We're just like, oh, I'm so happy to see you too. Yes, yes. But she talked from like the point of view of her dogs all the time, which is much weirder than somebody that talks in like the third person. She would be like, hi, I'm Baxter, and this is Choxy. But I do all the talking because I'm the alpha. Oh, yes, I'm the alpha. My mommy only eats baby food because she's afraid of choking to death alone in her apartment. Sometimes her friend Steve comes over and they play Scrabble. He wears a dirty cardigan. Sometimes he tries to kiss her, but she says she's not ready to take their relationship to that level. And then she deflates him and puts him back on the closet. That's what she says she's going to do to me when I die. 'Cause I'm the alpha. Oh, my set list came off my hand. All right. That's all right. When I first got my smartphone, the first thing I did was I started sexting, because that was kind of a new thing. We didn't do that when we were kids. We would prank call each other and moan. You know, and then hang up real quick. It was all on rotary phones. There was no caller ID. I never actually did that. I just watched my friend Summer do it. She was awesome at it. But like once I discovered sexting, at first it freaked me out, you know, because guys would get really forward really fast. Like one guy was like, hey, have you ever thought about doing 5 dudes at one time? And I was like, calm down. I haven't met you yet. I'm definitely not ready to meet your friends, you know? But then I realized, like, you can say whatever you want. Like, you're not going to get murdered. You're not going to get left for dead in a gas station. And then if you want to shut it down, you just sex something like, my anus is a penis guillotine. Oh my God, so much blood. So much blood. I gotta take a look at my phone and see what I put in my master set list real quick. 'Cause it's been a long time since I've done this much time. What if somebody fired you just because they didn't like you? I feel like every time I've been fired, it was really because somebody didn't like me, because there was always somebody else doing way worse shit than me that was like friends with the boss. And I kind of always wish somebody would be like, hey, Iris, we think you've got a really shitty personality. We don't want to be around you. Your voice is weird and you're fat. But I'd probably start crying. I always think I want to hear the truth, but then, what is that? Oh, okay. I thought you were holding up a note for me. I was like, what is going on? I also used to be a massage therapist. I used to hate to do prenatal massages because women would come in, they'd always say the same thing. They'd always be like, you know what spots to avoid, right? You know, so nothing bad happens. Because according to the hard science behind massage, there's a spot on the foot that makes things descend, which means you're either going to shit your pants or you're going to miscarry, or both. Don't you think if there was a spot on your body that could make you expel your unborn child, we would know about it? I would have looked that up in the 8th grade. We would have 15-year-old girls flipping through our bodies ourselves going, where's the Vulcan abortion pinch chapter? I need to know right now. Would change the conversation in the pro-lifer household a little bit. You've been pinching it, haven't you? No, Mother, I swear it was an accident. I'll be good, Mother. Please don't make me wear the metal boots of shame, Mother. And then you tempted a man with your dirty pillows and got rid of it, you dirty foot pincher. First time I was unemployed, I didn't know how to fill out the paperwork, so my dad helped me out. He was like, check every box no except did you look for work today? Under no circumstances do you tell them that you turned down work. If you don't want the job, just fuck up the interview. And I was like, I just want to go on job interviews now. You know, and they ask stuff like, what is your worst quality? Well, you know what? I'm just too darn anal. I just get too anxious. I start pulling out my hair and eating it. Get a rash. By the way, do you pay me in money or do you pay me in drugs? Can I have the drugs now? I don't have to wear khaki pants, do I? Those are the pants of oppression. I don't really like wearing clothes that much. What's his name? Does he have a girlfriend? How do you feel about fraternization? Because I'm all about that. That's what I'm looking for. I work at a place where, thank you, they have outdoor dining. So actually, money-wise, 2002 has been really good for me because we have like the biggest outdoor dining space in our area. And where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. So, like, when I first started working there, nobody had really been out dining in a while, and they didn't know what to do. And I just found myself getting more and more irritated. Like, when I first started bartending, I was like, I don't know if this is going to work because I hate people. And then I realized, like, I don't hate people. That person that says they love people, they hate people way more than I do. People are fine. Like, I was getting to the point where I never, like, even was a little bit short with anybody. I was just like, hi, welcome. I sounded like a phone sex operator. Just like that was my natural voice. And then, like, it all went away. And then I came back, and I was, like, pretty excited to see people again. But they kept asking dumb shit, like, what do we do? Are we allowed to eat inside? I'm like, no, you're not allowed to eat inside. It's all over the news. You're not allowed to eat inside. And so I invented this whole speech that I would just give them. I would just rattle it off as soon as I saw them. I'd be like, you order here, you pay here. We give you a number. They run your food out to you. You pick up your drinks here. You leave your tip on the bar, like in a bar. How hard is that? And then, like, there was always this lady that's like, wait, I have my own pen. I don't want to touch a pen. I'm like, go home. Stay home. You're not ready yet. Go home. And then there's, like, those weirdos that are, like, face flashers. Like, they just live to take off their mask. Be like, what are you going to do about it? I'm going to show you my nose, bitch. One guy was like, I have a disability. I can't wear a mask. And I'm not going to argue. I'm a tipped worker. I'd fucking take that money. I'm not going to argue. But, like, luckily, everybody just shamed him with their looks. And he put his mask on, so I didn't have to deal with it. We got this manager that's fucking nice to everybody all the time, which, you know, you're like, you work in a restaurant, you're supposed to be nice. No, you're not. You have to set boundaries with people. And I'm a woman. They don't listen to me set boundaries. You need to go to the guy to kick the drunk guy out, and it really doesn't help when he's like, hey, doggy, what's up? You know, like, anyway, that was a rant. That was a premise hunt. I didn't have any jokes for that. I just bitched on stage. A guy decided he didn't want to date me based on the messiness of my car, because he thought it meant my pussy smelled. Right? He had a saying, dirty car, dirty pussy. Is that an aphorism that anybody's heard before? Nobody's grandfather was like, beware the woman with the messy horseless carriage. For her flower doth not smell like a rose. And then I found out he'd only been with like 3 women. I took stats in college hella times. 3 ain't no kind of sample size. You need like 30 smelly pussied car driving women to test that theory. You know? You need to do it over a period of time, because we smell different from week to week, you know? We smell different times of day. A freshly showered 9 a.m. pussy smells different from a lunchtime jog pussy. Which in turn smells different from a 5 o'clock drive time pussy. You need some placebo pussy. You need to toss an onion in there. some deviled eggs or some black jelly beans, you know? I know vaginas are dark, mysterious places, but they're a whole lot easier to clean than a car. You know? Thank you. You don't have to declutter them or vacuum them or Windex and squeegee them, you know? You just need some very mild soap and water. Maybe pick out some weak gas station toilet paper every once in a while. Thank you. I've mostly dated younger men in my adulthood because that's just who I'm around all the time. Like it's not like I'm not a cougar. Like I like all kinds of dudes, but I'm just always around. I work in a bar. I do comedy. I started comedy at 35. Most people start comedy at 25. You do the math, you know. But I was also a late bloomer, and like when you're a late bloomer, you say sexual stuff, and then everybody looks at you funny, and then you're like, oh, that's not how it is it? I thought I knew I sounded like I knew what I was talking about. I fucking didn't. And I had that experience with some people who were my age at my work, where I was like, I realized in the middle of it, I don't think I've ever slept with anyone in their 40s, and I'm like 44. And they were talking about Viagra, like so frankly. Like it was just a part of their lives. Like nobody was talking about like loving to choke people. Or Snapchatting. They're just talking about like how their fucking old bodies work during sex, you know? And like one lady was like, all of my friends are getting divorced, and this one girl, she went out with a guy, and he had the thing happen where his dick stayed hard for 4 hours. And she finally was like, did you take a Viagra? And he was like, yeah. So it was like the first time he hadn't been with his wife, you know, like, and I was like, you would think he would give it like a dry run before he tried it with another person. And they were like, you mean like jack off all day? I was like, yeah, I guess nobody has time for that, huh? If you're not, you know, between jobs, between side hustles, you can't jack off all day. I was like, well, can't he just, like, you know, go in there and trust himself? And, like, this guy just gave me this look, you know, that look that says, I'm 46 and I still like to drink and do cocaine. And I don't want to have to choose between fucking and drinking cocaine. Drinking and cocaine. I'd really prefer to drink cocaine. I feel like that's the way to do it. I feel like Coca-Cola had it right. I can't put stuff in my nose anymore. That shit hurts. All right. Well, I think I've done my time. I'm going to leave you guys in a good mood. Thank you very much for coming out. Good night.
Iris Benson, y'all, man, she is a funny lady. I told y'all she gave us a treat, didn't she? Give it up for all our comics, guys. Give it up for all our comics. Give it up for yourselves as well. Y'all are a great audience. Y'all can stay here and hang out for a little bit, but if you want to exit and wrap up your tab, you can go up this way and exit. Moondeck will be having another show March the 12th. Other artists, but basically the same format. We're going to have a good time, laugh, so make sure you invite your friends, tell them what good time you had. I'll probably be here as an audience member, but make sure you guys support your local comedy. You can check out the Lounge website for any updates as far as what they have on the schedule as far as comedy and other events. But, man, you guys were a great audience. We really enjoyed your energy. Y'all made us laugh. I'm so happy that I'm not the only black guy here. I appreciate it. That's one way to end Black History Month. But yeah, most definitely come out. That way you may see the other 2 black people in Idaho. Yeah. But most definitely make sure you support us. Like I said, you exit this way. You can take care of your tab at the same booth that you pay coming in. Again, thank you, and you guys have a